Welcome everyone. Today we are going to take a really deep dive into all the possible settings within the standard plugin. Where can I adjust what? What are the implications of this button and that one? And what new possibilities emerge from that? Let's get started.
Right, so to begin, we're going to get started. And the very first thing we'll do is open up the Saga Standard Plugin. Then we'll take a brief moment to cast our eyes over the window that's currently displayed before us, just to get a good overview of what we're looking at here. Here we have the very first button that you'll be using. This one allows us to easily insert all of the necessary markers along the edge of your design. Moving on to the second button, this is where we will be inserting the QR code. You'll find that option right here. And finally, this next symbol, we'll primarily need it much later, towards the very end of the process, specifically when we are ready to save a PLT file.
We'll examine this symbol here in detail in just a moment. These are the actual configurations. We'll be diving deep into them right away.
Here we have two specific symbols. These are essential for us when we need to re-import print files that already exist back into Illustrator and subsequently assign them their respective marks and outlines. Here we have the outline tool. We'll also take a separate look at this in more detail. With this button, we can then save the PDF file. So right here, using the blue icon with the arrow pointing upwards, we can open the Cut Artist application. This provides us with the capability to directly control devices such as the SC32 and Blade X2 right from within Illustrator. Just a quick overview of some information here, and then over here at the back, you'll find the super toolbox for arranging your graphics. We'll take a closer look at that separately as well. We are going to start now and we'll delve into the details of the configurations here, which we will now examine one after the other.
On dot borders and marks. Mark, edge, blank and config. We'll begin by discussing the borders and marks. These particular settings define the precise position and the specific type of registration marks for your contour cut. Under mark, edge, blank, you define the distance of the marks from the sheet edge. Please note, the coordinates refer to the center of the mark. For a standard diameter of 5 mm, we recommend a margin of at least 5 mm. Within the mark config, you select the desired mark type. For the highest level of precision, 4 points is usually the best choice. Important, the mark diameter is set to 5 mm by default. Pause. However, if you are using a desktop label cutter, such as the LC30, you must absolutely change this value to 3.5 mm so that the sensors can correctly detect the marks. Pause. Secondly, background and segmentation. Pause. Let's now move on to the background and segmentation section. With Add Background, you place a colored area behind the marks and the QR code. This increases the contrast on dark or patterned materials, ensuring the camera recognizes the marks flawlessly. The page segment function divides long jobs into smaller sections to maintain accuracy over distance. Overcut ensures a minimal overlap at the cut lines, preventing any unsightly webs from remaining. Third, sorting and cutting options. The sort and cut options control the physical movement of the cutting head. Auto sort optimizes the cutting paths in an S shape. Keep this active to save time and avoid idle runs. The knife offset compensates for the tip's displacement. This ensures perfectly sharp corners instead of any rounded edges. The close offset guarantees that closed shapes such as circles are truly and entirely cut out by slightly overlapping the path at its very end. Point 4. QR code settings. QR code arguments. For automatic job recognition in batch processing, we use the QR code arguments. Here, you define the size as well as the X and Y position of the code relative to the registration mark. Note: a change to the value. The last QR code setting will only apply to the next QR code that is newly created. Particularly useful is the diagonal QR code. It strategically places a second code at the opposite end of the sheet. This ensures that the material can be loaded in any desired orientation. This is a significant advantage, especially when dealing with roll stock. Fifth, export and compatibility. Finally, let's take a closer look at the export option available in the right-hand column. With Trace Export DPI, you determine the precision of the vectorization process. 300 DPI is a well-established and reliable standard for this. Please note, for older machines, the page size header option should remain deactivated on older models to avoid error messages. The new Add Verification Cross places a test cross for diagnostic purposes. With this, you are able to verify whether the material is slipping or if the machine is operating accurately. During regular operation, however, this function can remain deactivated. Furthermore, you can choose the language setting here, or by selecting Send PLT Only, transmit exclusively raw plot data.